A billion-dollar empire built from the back of a rug shop with $900 in her pocket. An Oscar winner whose earning potential multiplied overnight from a stage in Raleigh. And a gospel empress who has owned her masters for 7 decades, while most artists were still learning what the word meant. Most people think North Carolina's wealth belongs to the bankers in Charlotte, or the basketball legends in Wilmington. They are looking at the obvious. What they are missing is the women. Quietly, strategically, and with a ferocity that rewrites the rules of American business, Black women in North Carolina have been building empires that stretch from the Research Triangle to every corner of the globe. We are not talking about inherited fortunes or celebrity endorsement deals. We are talking about women who built billion-dollar staffing agencies from nothing, who turned Grammy wins into real estate portfolios, and who sit on hospital boards deciding where billions in healthcare dollars get spent. North Carolina gave birth to Black Wall Street in Durham long before the term was trendy. It built historically Black colleges and universities that educated generations of leaders. And now, the women who walked through those doors are not just participating in the economy. They are running it, they are reshaping it, and in some cases, they are literally powering it. Number 10, the new guard, Lori Jones and Diamond Williams, the architects of the micro-empire. To understand how fast Black female wealth is accelerating in North Carolina, you cannot start at the penthouse. You have to start at the launch pad. Charlotte has ranked among the top cities in the nation for the growth of women-owned firms over the last decade. Leading that charge is a generation of entrepreneurs who are turning local hustle into scalable business with national reach. Lori Jones is the force behind Blackology Coffee Company. She did not just open a cafe and hope for foot traffic. She built a supply chain, focusing on ethically sourced beans and a brand that centers Black joy as a premium market segment. Jones moved from direct-to-consumer sales into wholesale distribution across the Triangle. She tapped into the Buy Black movement and treated it not as a charity play, but as a business model with real margins and real growth potential. In a state with deep agricultural roots, she understood that controlling the supply chain is where the real money lives. Running alongside her is Diamond Williams, the CEO of Lip & Pour in Charlotte. Williams identified a gap in the multi-billion-dollar beauty industry and filled it with customization. Her model lets customers handcraft their own cosmetics, blending retail with entertainment and manufacturing into a single experience. It is a franchise-ready concept with national potential sitting right there in the Queen City. These women are not billionaires yet, but they represent the most dangerous kind of wealth in any economy. The kind that is young, liquid, and expanding fast. They are proof that North Carolina's soil is still producing, and the harvest is only beginning. Number 9, Rhapsody, Marlana Evans, the lyrical investor. Hip-hop wealth conversations usually orbit around Jay-Z or Diddy. The spotlight always drifts to New York or Los Angeles. But in the quiet green fields of Snow Hill, North Carolina, a different kind of legacy was planted. Marlana Evans, known as Rhapsody, is one of the most respected lyricists of her generation. She went bar for bar with Kendrick Lamar and earned the respect of the entire industry without compromising her image or selling out her artistry for a quick payday. But her financial story runs deeper than music. Under the mentorship of Ninth Wonder, another North Carolina giant, she built her career through Jamla Records while retaining a level of creative and financial control that most artists never achieve in an entire career. She owns her work, she controls her output, and she tours globally from South Africa to Europe, turning that independence into consistent, compounding revenue. She is a Rock Nation affiliate with access to the Carter's orbit, yet she remains aggressively North Carolinian, reinvesting her time and resources back into the local community. Her net worth sits in the multi-million range, built not on flash, but on intellectual property and brand integrity. Rhapsody represents the creative capital of this state. She proves you do not need a New York zip code to influence the culture, and you certainly do not need to compromise to get paid. Number 8, Ariana DeBose, the Hollywood powerhouse. If Rhapsody holds down the music front, Ariana DeBose is conquering Hollywood with Carolina roots and a work ethic forged in Raleigh studios. Born in Wilmington and raised in Raleigh and Wake Forest, DuBose did not stumble into stardom by accident. She trained for it relentlessly, cutting her teeth at C.C. & Company Dance Complex before launching herself onto the Broadway stage with a discipline that separated her from the pack. Then came the moment that changed the entire trajectory. Winning the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for West Side Story did not just give her a gold statue, it fundamentally rewired her earning potential for the rest of her life. In Hollywood, an Oscar is a financial multiplier. It opens doors to first dollar gross deals, massive brand partnerships, and production credits that generate income for decades. DuBose leveraged that moment with precision, moving from stage to screen to voicing Disney's Wish and to hosting the Tony Awards. Her wealth is in rapid accumulation. She is securing contracts that were previously sealed shut for Afro-Latina queer women, expanding what is possible for an entire generation behind her. And her connection to North Carolina remains her grounding wire, proof that the road to the red carpet can run straight through Wake County. Number 7, Michelle Baker Sanders, the corporate and civic strategist. Wealth is not always measured by who has the most cash today. Sometimes it is about who controls the flow of money for everyone else. Michelle Baker Sanders sits at that exact intersection of private fortune and public power. A native of Belhaven, North Carolina, Sanders did not start in politics. She spent over 30 years climbing the ranks of the biotechnology and pharmaceutical industries, two of the most lucrative sectors on the planet. Before becoming North Carolina's Secretary of Commerce, Sanders was a high-ranking executive at Biogen, a biotech giant with a massive footprint in the research triangle. An executive at that level commands compensation packages loaded with stock options, performance bonuses, and a base salary that places you firmly in the top 1% of earners nationally. She knows how the machine works because she helped build it. Now, as the person responsible for North Carolina's entire economic development strategy, she is orchestrating the deals, bringing billions into the state. She is the architect behind major corporate arrivals like Apple and Toyota battery manufacturing. These are not small ribbon-cutting ceremonies. These are generational economic shifts that will employ thousands and reshape entire regions. Her public service salary is capped, but her personal net worth, built on decades of biotech equity, is substantial. She represents a class of black women in this state who were financially independent long before they ever stepped behind a podium. Women who do not need the job, but take it because they understand that real power is deciding where the money flows. Number 6, the estate of Nina Simone, the eternal royalty of Tryon. You cannot discuss black wealth in North Carolina without acknowledging the high priestess of soul. Eunice Kathleen Wayman, known as Nina Simone, was born in Tryon. And while she passed away in 2003, her estate remains a wealth-generating engine that continues to pay dividends across generations. In the music industry, a legend's catalog does not depreciate, it compounds. Songs like Feeling Good, I Put a Spell on You, and Mississippi Goddamn are constantly licensed for films, commercials, and sampled by artists across every genre imaginable. Each use generates royalties. In recent years, the market for music catalogs has exploded, with investors treating them like gold or prime real estate. The Nina Simone estate is a multi-million-dollar asset class of its own. Her childhood home in Tryon was recently preserved by 4 contemporary black artists and transformed into a cultural landmark, elevating both property value and the local tourism economy. Simone's wealth was hard-fought through Jim Crow and relentless industry exploitation. But today her name is a blue-chip stock in the portfolio of black American culture. North Carolina does not just produce labor, it produces genius with a permanent revenue stream. Number 5, the medical matriarchs. North Carolina is a global hub for medicine. Between Duke Health, UNC Health, and Atrium Health in Charlotte, the medical economy is the state's lifeblood. Rising to the top of this sector are black women who have made the transition from practitioners to power brokers. Women like the late Dr. Oleta Garin Brown, a physician and executive at Novant Health who is a titan in the Charlotte community. Dr. Goldie Bird at Wake Forest, a pioneer in Alzheimer's research among African Americans whose work has attracted millions in federal funding. These women are not just collecting salaries, they are managing multi-million-dollar research grants, sitting on hospital boards that oversee billion-dollar budgets, and consulting for pharmaceutical companies at rates that rival Wall Street partners. In the research triangle, Black female physicians and researchers are increasingly founding private practices and biotech startups. This is intellectual capital being converted directly into ownership, real estate, and generational savings. They own the medical parks where other doctors rent space. They hold the patents that pharmaceutical companies license. They influence where billions in healthcare spending get allocated each fiscal year. They are the quiet millionaires, hidden behind lab coats and board certifications, whose economic impact on the state is immeasurable. When people talk about North Carolina's booming economy, they rarely mention these women by name, but their fingerprints are on every hospital expansion, every research grant, and every medical breakthrough that keeps the state at the forefront of American healthcare. Number 4, Maya Angelou, the Winston-Salem legacy. Like Nina Simone, Maya Angelou was a global citizen, but her roots in her final decades were planted firmly in North Carolina soil. She lived in Winston-Salem for years, teaching at Wake Forest University and becoming as much a part of the city's identity as the institution itself. When she passed, she left behind not just a library of masterpieces, but a tangible estate worth tens of millions of dollars. Angelou was among the first Black women to truly monetize her voice at a global scale. She wrote books that sold in the tens of millions. She wrote greeting cards for Hallmark that reached households that had never bought a poetry collection. She delivered inaugural poems for presidents. She lectured for 5-figure fees per appearance. And she owned real estate that appreciated alongside her legend. Today, her estate generates massive ongoing revenue. Her autobiography remains required reading in schools across the planet. Her likeness is on the United States quarter, a symbolic recognition of her value not just to North Carolina, but to the nation. Angelou proved that a Black woman could live in the South, speak her truth without a single apology, and build a fortune that commanded respect from Wall Street to the White House. Her legacy is not just literary, it is financial, and it continues to compound. Number 3, Fantasia Barrino, the Phoenix of High Point. There's no story in North Carolina quite like this one. Born in High Point, she exploded onto the national stage as the winner of American Idol in 2004. That voice, raw and soulful, carried the weight of the entire South in every note. But her road to wealth was not a straight line. It was a war fought in public, with the whole country watching. In the mid-2000s, Fantasia faced every trap that comes with sudden fame. Bad contracts that bled her dry, family financial burdens that crushed her cash flow. The threat of foreclosure on her Charlotte mansion splashed across every tabloid in America. The media wrote her off. They said she was finished, but Fantasia did what North Carolina women do. She got back up and she rebuilt. She took her talents to Broadway, starring in The Color Purple, and toured relentlessly, stacking income brick by brick. She learned the business side. She studied contracts. She surrounded herself with people who understood money, not just music. Today, her net worth is estimated between $5 and $10 million, and climbing fast. Her starring role in the 2023 film adaptation of The Color Purple was the full circle moment that re-established her earning power in Hollywood. She has launched her own wine brand, owns significant real estate in the Carolinas, and manages her career with a financial literacy she earned the hard way. Fantasia is new money that learned from old money mistakes. She lost everything and made it back double, because she never lost the one asset that mattered most, her voice. And she never lost her connection to the state that raised her. Number 2, Pastor Shirley Caesar, the Gospel Empress of Durham. If you want to see what old money looks like in North Carolina's Black community, you go to church. And at the head of that congregation sits the First Lady of Gospel herself. Born and raised in Durham, Shirley Caesar is not just a singer. She is an institution wrapped inside a legacy, wrapped inside a dynasty. She has spent 7 decades in the industry. She has won 11 Grammy Awards and released over 40 albums. She is one of the most decorated gospel artists in the history of American music. But do not mistake her for just a performer. Shirley Caesar is a chief executive who has outlasted every trend, every industry shift, and every executive who underestimated her. She has navigated the music business since the 1950s, a time when black artists were routinely stripped of their royalties and told to be grateful for the exposure. Caesar learned the business early, and she learned it well. She owns her masters. She runs her own touring company. She has pastored and led civic initiatives in Raleigh for decades, building influence that extends far beyond the pulpit. Her net worth is estimated at over $16 million, built on a diversified portfolio of music royalties, real estate holdings across the Triangle, and her leadership at Mount Calvary Word of Faith Church. She even monetized the viral You Name It challenge with the savvy of a Silicon Valley founder half of her age. Caesar represents the massive financial power of the black church in the South. She lives in a sprawling estate in North Raleigh, gives back millions to the community, and stands as the matriarch of North Carolina wealth. A kingdom built on faith, discipline, and an iron grip on business. Number 1. Janice Bryant Howroyd, the billionaire from Tarboro. We have arrived at the summit, the richest black woman from North Carolina and one of the richest self-made women on the planet, Janice Bryant Howroyd. Born in Tarboro during the height of segregation, she was one of 11 children in a family that had almost nothing in material wealth, but everything in work ethic and determination. She attended a segregated school and learned the value of $1 watching her parents stretch every cent until it screamed. Racism surrounded her from every direction. She used it as rocket fuel. With just $900 in her pocket, including a loan from her mother, she moved to California and started a business in the back of a rug shop. No venture capital, no angel investors, no safety net. Just a woman from Tarboro with a vision and an absolute refusal to fail. That business was the Act 1 Group. Today, Act 1 is a global employment and workforce management empire, operating in over 30 countries with annual revenues exceeding $1 billion. Janice Bryant. Howroyd is the first African-American woman to build and own a billion-dollar company. Not an entertainer, not an athlete, a business-to-business titan who helps corporations across the world find and manage talent. While she operates globally, North Carolina is the bedrock of everything she is. She is a graduate of North Carolina A and T State University, the largest HBCU in the country, located in Greensboro. She has donated millions back to the university, endowed scholarships, and built infrastructure that will educate generations of entrepreneurs long after she is gone. She returns to the state constantly, pouring resources into mentorship and business development programs that give young black women the tools she had to forge on their own. Her personal net worth is estimated at over $600 million, with her company valued in the billions. She owns real estate across the globe, flies private, and sits on boards appointed by United States presidents. But when she speaks, you still hear Tarboro. You still hear the grit of a small-town North Carolina girl who refused to let anyone else define her ceiling. Janice Bryant Howroyd is not just the richest black woman in North Carolina. She is the blueprint. The living, breathing proof that a black woman from a segregated town in the American South can conquer the global economy with nothing but $900, a mother's loan, and an absolute refusal to quit. From the coffee startups of Raleigh to the billion-dollar boardrooms of Act 1, these women tell a story that the rest of the country is still catching up to. North Carolina is no longer just a backdrop for history. It is the engine of the future. These women took the legacy of the South, the land, the faith, the struggle, and transmuted it into power that reverberates across industries and across borders. They remind us that wealth is not just accumulation. It has an impact. It is Rhapsody owning her masters. It is Fantasia owning her comeback. It is Janice Bryant Howroyd owning the entire building and every office inside it. They are the queens of the new Black Mecca, and they are just getting started. Which of these Carolina queens inspired you the most? Did we miss a local mogul from your city? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden geography of Black wealth. We will see you in the next one.